You guys, do cornrows qualify as protective styles? You know how you get your braids done and they hurt for the first couple of days, and then once your hair starts loosening, the pain starts going away, and these are kind of tight. So I wonder if like they would qualify as a protective style, because yes, it's just my hair, no extension, so I guess that's a check. The amount of manipulation that I'm gonna have to do, it reduces that by a whole lot. I think that's a check. Does it kind of defeat the purpose of a protective style if it's so tight and if it hurts so much? Are we too woke for thinking that maybe these braids shouldn't be as tight? Guess who's back? I've gotten a protective style, or what I think is a protective style. I know that there's a lot of people, a lot of black women who are very tender-headed, where any kind of pull on their hair, it just doesn't work. And I think that's one of the reasons why they prefer to do some styles over other styles, to maybe not manipulate their hair as often as maybe someone who's less tender-headed would manipulate their hair. I don't consider myself to be tender-headed, but let me tell you how much in pain I was the first day or two. We kind of normalize pain as a, I don't know, like an associate of beauty. But I wonder if, just going back to cornrows, right? Even though we're not using extensions, even though they help us with like manipulation and just lessening the amount of times we have to be in our hair, does it kind of defeat the purpose of a protective style if it's so tight and if it hurts so much? Because I feel like our body has its way of letting us know what works for it and what doesn't, and pain is one of those like signals. So a few other good examples, right? Chemical burns with relaxers. When we were growing up, if you were in a kind of household and it was very normal to relax hair, one of the things that comes with relaxing hair is like chemical burn. Whether it's like a little scab in your scalp because your scalp is screaming at you. Some people, like, they'll lose a little bit of hair, or for some people it's going to be actual like what do you call them, like abrasions on their scalps, like wounds, cuts. I feel like those were signs and symptoms of our body letting us know that this chemical relaxer or this relaxer that you're putting on your scalp is not the way to go. But because in our heads it was kind of like a side effect or a symptom of beauty, we would sit through that, and they would put the relaxers and they do the neutralizer or whatever else goes after the relaxer, and we'll be done and we'll have straight hair. So I guess the anticipation of the outcome would have us sit in that chair, and the fact that the people who were doing it normalize it so much, where it's like if it's introduced to you as something that's normal, you normalize it, you sit through that pain, right? But another good example too is like even with synthetic hair, right? Even with synthetic hair, you know, the itching, the scabs, the bumps, our body and our scalp is letting us know that this thing that you just put in your hair, I don't like it. I don't know, but because we see the other side of it, where it's like when I'm done it's gonna be pretty, especially if the allergic reaction is not that severe, we're gonna sit through it, and sometimes we're gonna let it sit on our scalp for months. We're just gonna know that it's just part of the process, it's part of the beauty process, and sometimes it does go away. Thinking back now about the correlations that they're putting between these synthetic braiding hair that we've been putting on our hair for generations and like diseases, long-term chronic issues like the cancers and the fire, like now in retrospect it's like should we have listened to our body? I don't know if this is a stretch. Let me know if it's a stretch. This is a conversation, it's a safe space. I'm very open to hearing what you are thinking, but is it a stretch to say that the fact that these braids hurt so much, these cornrows hurt so much, is it a stretch to say that maybe our body is telling us to stop doing this? Because I know traction alopecia is a thing, right? Where it's like you start to lose some hair, your follicles become inflamed. And not only do you lose hair, but those parts of your scalp where you've lost hair, sometimes if it's that severe, your scalp will actually stop producing hair in those areas. So traction alopecia is a real thing. And so I was playing around with AI, ChatGPT to be exact, and I was just asking like questions about tender-headedness. Is that something that we build over time from all of these styles that are super tight? Or is that something that some women are just born with? Or could it be a little bit of both? And I'm just wondering, in those instances where we build the tender-headedness over time, is it because of these tight hairstyles, or is it because possibly of something else? And apart from traction alopecia, are there other like long-term health impacts that these tight ass cornrows can have on our selves, on our bodies, on our health, that we should probably be talking about, that we're not talking about? And don't get me wrong, I like them. I have to get used to them. I have to get used to this look, but I like them. But I'm just wondering, you know? When I asked, it says, besides traction alopecia, tight cornrows can lead to scalp tenderness, headaches, and folliculitis, which is inflammation of the hair follicles. In severe cases, prolonged tension can cause permanent damage to the scalp. So it's important to be mindful of these issues when you're styling your hair. So I guess the only real impact here is like traction alopecia from the excessive pulling. I know sometimes too, like, our edges can really be affected when there's like excessive pulling. I don't know, I was just wondering because like these hurt. When she did it, they hurt, and then a few, like 1 or 2 days after she did it, I think it hurt more. But now it's starting to feel a little better, and so I just thought about it and I'm just like, I wonder if the girls are thinking the same thing, you know? Are we loving our scalp a little less each time that we braid these things so goddamn tight, you know? Anyway, let me know what you think. Thank you so much for sticking with me, always. I'll see you on the next one. Still in my Dolce era, still feeling great. Boom shakalaka, I'm excited.